Hello, Mount Rudmore here, and I am back with another Big Brother stream, and it is only day 18, 17. Either way. No, it's day 19. Anyway, this is the second time I am coming back after thinking I was done, because so much has happened, but, it's been mostly good against all odds. Um, Hello to my first viewer. Thank you for being here. So I'm just gonna go through tonight's episode really quickly because it was basically obsolete because we were seeing the eviction and anyone watching the feeds already knew Pooch was gone and were even able to figure out that he left unanimously. Yep, 12-0, which I did not expect. I thought he'd get a couple votes to stay. I was thinking like 9-3, maybe even 10-2. But nope, it was unanimous. And that was the first update I saw after the feeds came back. I'm like, yay! And then it went right to the next update. It was after the HOH competition. Well, first of all, I just want to say I didn't mind the competition. I thought it was pretty clever. It was like mostly focused, but also a little physical and a little endurance too, because you had to. I mean, it seemed like they were hanging on to those buttons for a while. Like it was just like it was like in a concert when everyone does the lighter thing. There were just giant lighters in front of them. They had to hold on to the sides. There were two buttons on the sides, and if their hands came off the button, they were out. And it was also like musical chairs because when the music stopped, they had to go sit down. And the last one to take their seat was eliminated. And this was a reasonably entertaining competition. I knew Terrence was going to be the first one out, though. Poor guy. It's just, I mean, when you're the oldest person in the Big Brother house, there is already going to be kind of inherently that thing of you might have trouble connecting with the younger contestants, especially if you're over 45. Terrence is 47. So, there's already that going in, but, even taking that into account, Terrence is pretty, awkward in that house. It's just it's like he's still trying to figure out how he ended up in there, you know? But yeah, Terrence was out first, and, like, we got to see how the BB twist panned out. Wow, I'm up to 3 viewers. That's a lot for me. Hello, everybody. So we get to see how this twist works, how they all end up pairing with each other. Scarlet Rain 88. Hey there. Hello. Thank you for joining. And in the end, Turner ends up as HOH, and his partner is Jasmine because she's the only one left that hasn't been picked to be on a team with. It's almost like no one wants to be on her team, and I can't really blame them. She's awful. But yeah, when the feeds came back, I saw Turner was HOH. I saw what this twist was. I saw how the Majority Alliance was using it to seemingly ensure their spot in the house. And I was just like, this can't be real. This is so ridiculous. And then, the actual thing that made me say, I'm done, was when I heard Jasmine say that, when Turner asks who flipped the vote, we're going to blame Taylor, aka the person on the block with Pooch. When you're on the block, you have every right to flip the vote. And I, I mean, if she did do this, which she didn't, because obviously it was Amira who led the charge. But if Taylor did take it upon herself to flip the vote and flipped all 12 votes in her favor, then she went above and beyond what she needed to do. Okay? So yeah, like when I saw that, I'm just like, there's no game sense from these people. And I'm just like, why am I wasting my time with this? But then a miracle happened. I woke up on Saturday to Amira trending on Twitter. And I'm like, what happened? And then I realized that they figured her out. Joseph, in particular, really led the charge to figure this whole thing out. And he got Kyle on board. Kyle was already kind of like somewhat like his eyes were opening, but like I don't know if he was all the way there yet, but like Joseph cracked the code and Kyle was on board and Monty was on board and they realized that Amira is the one pulling all the strings here. And for that matter, they were looking at Nicole kind of funny too. And Monty, Monty blew me away. He realized Taylor was right, Paloma was wrong about just the fact that the women were coming for the men. Monty realized Taylor was right, and I'm just like, you finally woke up. Like, do I fully forgive him? No. And, you know, to be honest, I'm going to leave the forgiveness to Taylor after the season. Like, that's between him and her. But he is awake now. He is playing the game. And that's really all you can ask for. So Monty realized Taylor was right all along. A miracle did happen in that house. Exactly. So, you know, Joseph, it was his birthday on Saturday. Turned 25. And a lot of people made the point on Twitter that your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. And like the second Joseph hit 25, his brain went into God mode. Like when you're playing a video game and someone's just like got hacks on and they're practically untouchable. Like that's the power of Joseph's brain all of a sudden. And it's like, where has this dude been? It's like a break from looking at himself in the mirror. Aries Bree, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. So, you know, the women are still under the impression, like Amira and Nicole, and also Alyssa, who's just like their underling. Um, they're still pretty comfortable in assuming that Taylor's the target. Michael and Brittany are the nominees, but they're pawns. And it's just like Taylor and Nicole are going to be backdoored. Well, Taylor specifically is going to be backdoored. And the Pose Pack Alliance, because they deliberately separated themselves amongst these pairs so that like the entirety of Pose Pack is in a different pair. So that if any of them are on the block, then the rest of the alliance has the votes to take out whoever they're with. That was that was the big fear everybody had, that they were just going to break the game. But they didn't count on Joseph suddenly activating his brain. And like he started asking around, he started asking the right questions to the right people. And he realized that Kyle has gotten a lot of information from Alyssa, who still has a really one sided crush on him. Like, it, Alyssa is down bad for someone that pretty. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. So it comes time for the veto. Turner and Jasmine, since they're a duo, they're competing. Turner's HOH, and his duo will be competing with them. And of course, Michael and Brittany are the duo that are nominated. So they're going up. They're going to compete in the veto, I mean. And the last team to compete is picked at random. And it turns out to be Taylor and Nicole. And this was actually really good because, like, you know, the guys are looking at Amira weird, so they want the veto to get used. And it's like I was under the impression that only one person could win the veto, but it was a team effort. And I was just thinking Nicole can't win because she would leave the nominees the same. Then I realized it would be a team thing, so they both have a say in it. And but yeah, I was thinking like if the veto was in Nicole's hands, she'd just leave noms the same, and Taylor would be safe. But that would mean Michael or Brittany would leave, and it would be Brittany between the two of them. So this is where the spiral begins. Already, Amira is not happy that Taylor and Nicole got picked. And then Joseph just starts talking to Taylor for a while. Amira knows they're talking, and she doesn't like this. Because apparently Amira gets to decide who can and can't talk to each other. Like, Amira, everyone in this house is an adult. You are not any of their mothers. They can talk to whoever they want, and they don't have to defer to you. So after Taylor and Joseph stop talking, Amira asks Joseph, "Why was Taylor talking to you?" And he played it off as him just like because he's close with Turner. He wanted to see well, she wanted to see where his head was. Is this Big Brother or a playground? People can't make rules like that. LOL. You can make that rule on a playground that someone can't talk to someone. You know what? You try to do that on a playground, you get beat up. Okay? And you deserve it. But yeah, that was Joseph's excuse. Like, Taylor just wanted to see where his head was since he's close to Turner. And she thinks he's lying. She openly does not believe him. And she just keeps going on and on and on about it. And I'm just like, is she digging her grave without even realize it's already being dug for her? I'm just like, this is getting juicy. And later on that day, before the veto, Turner is talking to Taylor, and he promises her that she is safe. And I'm just like, yes, yes, he is actually sticking with this because, you know, Joseph, Kyle, Monty, they were on board with this plan and they were talking to Turner about it, but I was feeling like maybe Turner wasn't super on board with this. But like him saying that to Taylor, that made me feel a lot better. Turner finally made a good call. Yes, he did. He's been showering more lately. It's like it's like that's made him a better game player. Oh, okay. Now, this is where things started to go off the rails. Um, Nicole came out of the diary room crying, and a couple house guests thought that it had something to do with her mother. And like she's mentioned before that her mother is like not dying, but like not well. And like when I realized this was a possibility, I'm like, okay, game is off right now. I would never root uh for a contestant's mother to a contestant's family member to pass away. I would never ever do that. I'm just like the game is off in this moment. I hope everything is okay. But that isn't why Nicole was crying. Like the implications from what she was saying to smell this was like apparently they may have indicated to her in some way that she needs to chill with how much she's been trash talking Taylor. And she was just worried, like, oh my God, does America hate me? But, you know, instead of actually trying to work on herself, things really went poorly. Um, Taylor was actually, like, she said, you know, I'm not really religious, but can we just, like, she said to Monty, can we just, like, have a prayer for Nicole's mom? Because they were all under the impression that that's what was happening. Yeah, she was trash talking Taylor quite a lot from what tweets I've seen. Oh, this is just the beginning of this whole thing. So while that's going on, Nicole and Smelvis, they just immediately go in on how Taylor's a bad person and like they they just can't understand how anyone could like her. And I'm just like, so the implication here is that you got some kind of warning and you're choosing to double down on what you were warned about? Like why certain people watching this might not like you? And they're like, the people watching just don't understand how bad a person Taylor is. No, you don't understand how good a person she is because you only live in your own little worlds and you don't see, like, you see one perspective, your own. Like, you might get another person's perspective or at least part of it, but you are never going to see the entire perspective of another person unless you follow them around, which would be weird. Meanwhile, those of us watching the feeds, we do get a full picture. And, you know, everyone who's able to see the full picture is able to see that you people have no real reason to hate Taylor as much as you do. So, saying people watching don't understand, we're seeing more than you. And you are deliberately choosing to see less than you actually can see. So, yeah, sassy sip. So, where things really went wrong was when like Taylor went to comfort Nicole, and what Taylor said was like, "I'd understand. We'd all understand if you had to leave to do whatever you had to do with in regards to your mother," which was a compassionate thing from Taylor. But Nicole interpreted it as Taylor telling her to leave. No, that's not what she said, and you know that. And it's almost like you are using the fact that your mother is ill and the other house guests know that to your advantage for gameplay reasons, which is diabolical. That is some bottom of the barrel stuff. I thought Nicole used to be a cop. This should mean she's at least a little bit intelligent. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. That doesn't mean that at all. Not even a little bit. Not not even a little. I'm not gonna get into like socio-political issues on this, but let's just say, because Scarlett, I know you're British. British police and American police. Um, well, ours are in the news a lot for controversial things, and that's all I'm gonna say on that matter. Also, Kyle said that what Taylor said was a scummy thing to say, and it just started to get me thinking, "Oh my god, this whole thing's gonna fall apart." I was, I was like, "No, please, don't let this, don't, don't let Nicole spin her talking to into ammo against Taylor." So then the feeds go down for Vito, and while they were down, there was a rumor going around that Nicole got expelled from the house for fighting with Taylor. Now, at first, I'm like, this is total BS. I'm just like, there's no way this is true. But then the feeds were down for a long time. Like, they're typically down for a while for the veto comp, but I mean, they were down for 5 hours. Like 5.5 hours, even. And I was still thinking, like, it's probably nothing, but, the possibility grew in my mind. I'm like, okay, maybe there's like a 5% chance this is real. But I'm still just like, no way we'd get that lucky. We already had Paloma having to leave because she went crazy. We had Pooch leaving because he got stupid. Like, there's no way we're going to lose a third person we don't like because she actually fought somebody. Like, there's no way. And sure enough, feeds come back. Everybody is still in the house. And Michael and Brittany have won the veto. It was a joint competition. And this is now 3 for 3 for Michael. He's been in 3 vetoes. There have been 3 vetoes, and he has won 3 vetoes. And I tried to be excited about that, but then I started hearing that there was a blow up between Smelvis and Taylor. He blew up at her. And I'm like, dude, you are going to delete all of your social media pages after this. I do not engage in online harassment. I'm just like, if I hate you, I block you and I move on with my life. I literally have already blocked Smelvis on Twitter, and I don't regret it. I found, like, his was one of the first Twitters I found, and I blocked him immediately. But yeah, he blew up at her, and apparently he told her that that Taylor caused Paloma to break down and have to leave the house. I mean, the duo of Nicole and Smelvis, they they call themselves the Rogue Rats. I thought it was a stupid name, but it's pretty apt because these two engage in some crap, serious rat behavior from both of them. This is rat gameplay from two rats. That's they're, and I was even having a moment yesterday, like, even if this Amira plan pans out, do I want to keep subjecting myself to this because it is toxicity on top of toxicity when it comes to these people even thinking about Taylor. And I'm just like, I'm like, is this even worth it for me? Like, there needs to be something good soon. Wow, I didn't think I could hate Smelvis anymore until I heard that. Yeah. I mean, we have not seen it yet. Okay? We're, I assume, going to see it on Wednesday when the Vito episode airs on TV. So I'm just like, we need something good to come out of this. And then we get to Turner, and he is considering doing what the house wants, which is to put up Taylor and Nicole, but get rid of Taylor. But Joseph and Kyle, they get to him and they defend Taylor. And they really get to work trying to get this plan to proceed. And I'm like, Joseph is not taking a day off on his birthday. He is putting in the work. And he's got Kyle on his side. Like, Kyle was already showing some signs of, like, actually being able to read the house reasonably well. And Joseph talking to him about all this just awakened the gamer in Kyle. And Joseph later, he talks to Michael. And he says he wants to work with him and Taylor because Joseph says he feels like an outsider. And like he's kind of getting the sense that Michael and Brittany feel that way as well. And I'm just like, Joseph is reading these people so well. I'm like, where have you been? Like, I, I can't believe how much Joseph turned up. Everyone's like, age 24, Joseph. That's like the Drake meme. But then Joseph, age 25. Yeah, and Joseph insists, whatever you do, you use the veto. But don't even think about just leaving it the same and just being like, it's time for Brittany to go. So he's like, no, use the veto. He doesn't go into any more detail than that. At least I don't think he did. But I remember he was very firm about saying this. Okay, now to the really good stuff. I mean, water is good stuff, but that's not what I meant. Um, Kyle, he points out to Michael and Turner that they're in a bad spot in the house. And this is where he reveals the old school alliance, which is information he got from Alyssa. And, like, you know, Joseph definitely gets a lot of credit, but Alyssa also gets an accidental assist for her thirst for Kyle because she gave him so much information and he is using all of it against her. But yes, he reveals to them the old school alliance, which is Alyssa, of course, and Smelvis, Nicole, Jasmine, Amira, and Terrence. Kyle says that if Amira, and by extension Terrence, because Amira and Terrence are another duo, if they were to go on the block, they would have 6 votes to evict Amira. And there's 11 people voting. So 6 out of 11, boom, done. Joseph further points out Taylor would absolutely work with them because She's had no one, and Turner, of all people, points out the mistreatment she's got in the house and says that it isn't right. And, there is that little bit of me that's like, thank you for, like, waking up, but don't think I've forgotten that, yes, Turner, you have said some rather unfair things about Taylor as well. But this is certainly a golden opportunity to make it right. So they've been talking about all this. I can't quite believe it's taken Turner to point this out to the house, lol. Yeah. Well, not the house, just, you know, Joseph, Kyle, Michael. I think Monty and Brittany were there for most of this, but it's like they really want Taylor to get up to the HOH room with everybody and finally solidify something. And it happens. She gets up there. There was even a thing like a couple of the guys were just watching like the monitor in the HOH room because like in the HOH room there's a TV where you can just watch various rooms in the house. And they finally see Taylor making her way to the HOH room, and they're just cheering like they're watching a football game. So Taylor gets in there, and it is her, Michael, Brittany, Joseph, Kyle, Turner, Monty. And they decide to call themselves the Leftovers. And they officially, like, they all put their hands in, do all that, and it's official. Taylor is in her first alliance. It's week 3, but it happened. Hallelujah. Kyle talks about how he's excited to blindside everybody with how cocky they've been, especially Amira and also Nicole. But putting up Nicole right now is too risky since she's Taylor's partner. So we can't do Nicole right now because it wouldn't work. But yeah, Kyle's just excited to blindside them for it. Finally. Yeah, exactly. Um, Brittany reveals that Taylor and Turner were the other side's targets because Brittany has been trying to work with the women, but they don't trust her. And admittedly, Brittany has put her foot in her mouth a couple of times, but she's trying her best. And there is a little bit of it. Like I've said before, everything she says gets ratted out. But, like, I think she can actually talk with these people. And she's giving them valuable information. She says that Taylor and Turner were the other side's targets before this twist came into play. And she says that Smelvis and Nicole should be the next two to go after Amira. And I'm just like, this is amazing. Kyle and Taylor are both okay with being pawns because Kyle is Smelvis's partner, and like I said, Taylor is Nicole's partner. Like they're okay being pawns, like to get them, like to go on the block with them because they'll have the votes. They should have the votes at least to make it happen. But I definitely think Smelvis should be first, since Taylor would still be in kind of a precarious position. I think, like, okay, let's say next week it was like someone in the leftovers was HOH, and Nicole and Taylor were on the block. There'd only be 5 people in the leftovers voting. So they would all have to vote for Taylor to stay, and then the HOH would have to break the tie to send Nicole home. And, I would like to see that, but it is kind of risky. So I would rather Smelvis and Kyle go up first, because I think Kyle is much more secure in the house. So, yeah, that's what I would do. I would do Amira, Smelvis, Nicole in that order. And like as they're talking over their plans, like, yes, they are targeting Amira. They want her gone. But the difference between them wanting Amira out and Amira and her minions wanting Taylor out is that they are not saying anything disrespectful about Amira. They're saying that she's that she has serious potential to be a rather dangerous competitor, and they want her out purely for game reasons. Like, there's nothing really personal in it, and like they're just giving her the respect that she never gave to Taylor as she was trying to get Taylor out for 3 weeks, and she's failed twice so far. And if all goes well, not only will she fail a third time, she won't get a fourth try. So Kyle suggests to Michael that they disseminate info amongst each other a certain way. Like Kyle says, I give you information, Michael, and then Michael, you would give information to Brittany, and then Brittany would give it to someone else, and so on, circling all the way back around until someone gives information to Kyle. And I'm just like, that's brilliant, you know, because you don't want the whole alliance to be seen at once. That was one thing the Cookout did well. They didn't all hang out together too often, and that's how they were able to fly under the radar. It also helped that there was a lot of infighting, like between Tiffany and Derek F. But they stuck to the mission, and it got them there. Amira says that Michael is a force to be reckoned with, but he wouldn't target them. Indy says he could make moves they couldn't. And technically she's right, because they couldn't evict themselves. A Michael HOH would be pretty great. Because like he would ensure that everything goes just perfectly. And just hearing Amira still think, like, Amira is just so comfortable right now. And that was Pooch's mistake. He got too comfortable. I mean, is she as comfortable as him? Maybe not, because she has not volunteered to go on the block. I mean, she wouldn't to get Terrence out because, like, Terrence is like a joke to them in the house. I mean, the, the guy hasn't even come close to winning anything yet. But yeah, it's just seeing Amira as comfortable as she is, knowing what seems to be on the horizon, it's kind of delicious. Who do you think Michael would put up if he was HOH? Well, it's hard to say with this twist going on, but like if this twist was not in play, I think, well, I would say Amira, but he'd put up Amira if she's still there, and then maybe someone like Alyssa or Indy just as like a pawn, or not even really so much a pawn, just as a backup. And he's definitely over Nicole as well. You know what? Yeah, I think he'd put Nicole up, or he'd put up two pawns, and Nicole would be his backdoor target. Um, Speaking of targets, Taylor says her target is smell this. Just what we've been wanting to hear from her. Oh, we're so happy that crush she had on him didn't ever become anything because you. And I'm just like, I am 100% here for it, but I think the best play would be to backdoor him. 100%. I mean, he was the first HOH, so he can win. He has he has a resume, so he is a little risky to just put on the block regularly, especially with this twist. Assuming these besties, this Festy Bestie is the name of it because, like, when you go to a festival, you have a best friend, and that's what the theme is this season. It's a festival, so like it would be Daniel and Kyle going up, and Kyle would like be on board to get Daniel out. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I called him. I didn't call him Smelvis. My bad. But yeah, I think it'd be best to not let them compete in the veto. Like, while I still feel Kyle would probably try to throw it in some way, I have seen people in positions where like they're forced to be on a team. Someone on the team is throwing it, but then the other half of the team or the other part of the team wins it anyway. Okay, so Taylor apologizes to Nicole for everything that happened. Nicole is like, I didn't want Smelvis to blow up like that. I mean, she didn't say Smelvis, but I am. But she's not really taking any responsibility for her role. Like, Nicole's basically saying, I am sorry that he hurt you. But Taylor apologizes, and, that's. Taylor has been gaslit pretty bad by these people that she still feels the need to apologize just for trying to connect, trying to be compassionate, and it's kind of disgusting. Nicole just continues to give a non-apology and even just continues to talk down at Taylor like, you just have to watch how you talk to people. I feel like she even just said, try not to say anything. And she's just doing all this, and she's still under the impression that she and Taylor are going on the block tomorrow. Or later today. Well, okay, I guess it's tomorrow. It's 1:17 a.m. here on the East Coast, but it's 10:17 p.m. in California. So, yes, for them, tomorrow. But anyway, she still thinks this is the plan. And it's like, this really is gonna be like a genuine blindside. As long as Turner doesn't chicken out. Like, Turner will never know peace on the internet if he deprives us loyal viewers who have put up with all the nonsense that has been this season. Like, between Jasmine and her horrendous accent in the diary room, all the gaslighting Taylor has gotten. If he deprives us of what could be the greatest moment on Big Brother in 10 years, he will he will disappear from social media. No one will ever forgive him, including me. Uh, Michael and Brittany are talking, and they are over Nicole's ego and her attitude, all that. Like, Nicole keeps thinking she's a comp beast, but she hasn't won anything yet. And they both agree they want her and Smallvis out after Amir. And I'm just like, this is music to my ears. Now, the last update I saw was they were going to tell the people who weren't in Pose Pack they're gonna tell them about it just so there's like full transparency, and I think that's a good idea because like revealing that will build trust and make this alliance work. And this all happened because Joseph turned 25 and Alyssa got thirsty for an unemployed TikToker from Utah. That's that's how we ended up in this position. All right, now time for my favorite part: checking the timeline to see if anything big has gone down while I've been talking. Forgive me for sweating. It was 100 degrees today. It's about 80 now, but it still feels hot. I'm not like directly like I'm getting like the the splash of the air conditioner, but I'm not like directly near it, so it's a little sticky for me right now. Oh yeah, I'm kind of going viral on BB Twitter. I I currently have 293 likes and 17 retweets on a comment I made under BB updates where I said, "How am I rooting this hard for a 7-person, 5 male, 2 female alliance containing 3 people I hated on Friday?" This, that's just how this game goes sometimes, you know? You did see that tweet? Oh, thanks. All right. Nothing on my timeline. Time to check BB updates. Typically, late at night is when some stuff goes down. I think I might get something out of this. To be fair, I see nearly all your tweets, though. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, we got a few updates. Oh, there's a lot of updates. Oh, this could be fun. Okay. So Jasmine asked if Kyle would ever vote her out. Alyssa said, "No way. I wouldn't let him. If you were against Turner, he would definitely vote out Turner." No, not a chance. Alyssa says to Amira and Jasmine, "You guys are both with people that would go. I don't want Terrence to leave, but obviously if it was the two of you, he would leave. Everybody knows that. Same thing with Turner." Oh, they have no idea. They have no idea. Oh, oh, oh my God. This is Alyssa to Amira and Jasmine. "I don't think there is ever a scenario where the three of us wouldn't make it to jury. I don't see it happening." Oh, God. Everybody, everybody is pooch now. Everybody is pooching out. They all think they're safe. It's Big Brother. You are never safe until you have the money in your hands. You are not safe. Oh, I'm retweeting that. I need that record on my timeline. Monty's asking Michael if he's told Brittany about Postpack. Michael hasn't yet. Monty says he and Kyle are gonna tell Turner and Joseph, and they'll get to Taylor like at a later time, like probably after Vita, which would make sense, just in case. Smelvis is talking about how Indy's his next target. Well, he doesn't realize what the plan is. Oh, Michael says he's not threatened by Nicole that much. He'd prefer Daniel goes first, and Brittany agrees with that. Nice. Okay, Michael is telling Brittany about Pose Pack. I will rejoice when Smelvis gets evicted. Haha. Oh, oh, there will be a party on Twitter. Literally, it will be hashtag Daniel evicted party. That's a thing that happens on BB Twitter, and like if they're hated enough, it actually trends like on like the rest of Twitter. Like people who don't watch Big Brother will just see that update and they're like, "What the is this?" Oh, and Brittany told Michael that she was in an alliance called the Girls, which was all the women except Nicole and Taylor. I mean, Nicole got in with them eventually, but Taylor, no, they kept ganging up on her. Michael saying it all goes back to Amira. She wanted something with the women, something with the guys, just covering herself on all sides. She is getting caught in 4K. Michael's like, Amira's gonna come to us. Like, she's gonna go to Brittany and invoke Girls. She's gonna go to Michael and invoke Pose Pack. And Michael's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be like, sure, I have your back. I never vote you out. And I'm just like, go ahead, lie to their faces. They're leaving. They're not gonna be in jury. Lie all you want. Who cares? Brittany tries to be like, Amira's gonna be upset. She's going before jury. Then Michael's like, I feel a little less bad that she was recruited off LinkedIn. Dang. And like once she got recruited, she just started watching the show. Michael saying he can't wait to use the veto tomorrow. So no matter what, Michael and Brittany are coming off the block. Haha, I'm glad you're not done with this show quite yet. These streams are fun. I mean, this is the most, like, in the past when I've tried to read for updates, I just find like a couple crumbs. Like this, I ain't finding crumbs. I'm finding the whole buffet. But yes, Michael is using the veto. And I'm like, you have to. You're on the block. Don't be an idiot. And Michael's like, we didn't know. We thought Taylor was going to be put up. Like, that's what he's going to say. And, do what you got to do. I get it. It's say Smelvis and Nicole are going to be mad. Brittany is not liking him for his outburst to Taylor. Smelvis for his outburst to Taylor. Michael's like, he didn't even know the full situation. Oh, this gets better. Brittany says Jasmine is not even trying to walk on her ankle at all. And oh man, they are just coming for every flaw that the people outside their alliance have. They are clocking them, and it's beautiful. People are going to get. Michael says people are going to get tired of Jasmine always being like, "Will you grab this for me?" Because that's her stupid clown accent. And Brittany's like, "I'm already tired of it." Like, oh, Jasmine is not going to be able to milk this thing forever. It really, she really isn't. Oh, Brittany says if she gets a chance to talk to Taylor one on one, she's going to tell her the truth that there were a lot of conversations when Jasmine was HOH, basically just laughing at the fact that Taylor thought she was one of them. Yeah. Like, I've seen a lot of people come at Brittany for, like, being complacent, like, being a spectator in the whole thing, but, like, in that position, Brittany saying anything would have just made her a target. It's sad, but it's true. So she had no choice but to sit and listen to it. But telling Taylor about it, like that could make things right and also make things fun. Michael admits he should probably stop talking about it, but he's like he's annoyed still that Nicole keeps saying she's the strongest female competitor. And I think Nicole is just talking on the fact that like about her gun show because yeah, she definitely has the most muscles of all the women in the house by far. But he points out like a lot of people have won stuff. He points out Brittany has won. Uh, Jasmine won an HOH, and like Taylor, Amira, and Jasmine all won in the backstage uh, part of the the bye bye backstage part of the HOH challenge week 2. Like Nicole lost that. Like she was up against Monty, and they both struggled. Monty was trying to throw it, I think, but Nicole was just genuinely struggling, and it was like, okay, we got to move the show along. So Monty just took it. And Brittany says, running laps around the yard does not qualify as one of the strongest. Does not qualify one as the strongest competitor. Oh, they are eating so good. They're eating them alive, and we're eating good. Brittany says Nicole's really bossy in the kitchen since she's a chef, but Brittany's just like the leftovers will be able to feed ourselves. Oh my god, it's just endlessly entertaining. Well, Brittany says that she could see Joseph and Monty with Amira gone being more of a duo to put up than the two of them, and Michael agrees with that. Brittany says, "I think that Brittany thinks that um, they can keep making the girls think they're on their side, and like they'll need them more." Oh, Brittany says, I want Daniel out. Michael says, I do too. I would probably want to backdoor Daniel. I wouldn't want to put up Taylor. Brittany says, Turner did put us up as a pawn. My mind initially would be put up Turner and Jasmine. If it had to stay the same, we send Jasmine home. Love it. Love all of it. Back, sorry, it's 6:30 a.m. here and people are waking up. Haha. No worries. I've gotten through everything that I needed to get through. Like tomorrow is gonna make or break the season. If Turner follows through and puts up Amira and Terrence, with Amira being the target, everything's gonna explode in the best possible way. Yes, the desperate idiots with their backs up against the wall might get kind of toxic and mean to Taylor, even though she has no power. Turner has all the power, but they'll still find a way to get mad at Taylor. But Taylor has not said a mean word to anybody. As much as they've tried to believe that, she has been consistently the kindest, most compassionate person in that house. And Turner putting up anybody other than Amira and Terrence would be devastating. But if he does decide to follow through with Amira's demands to take out Taylor, that that would probably be it for me. I won't lie. Because like this has so much potential to be the best thing ever. And to just have an opportunity like that taken away would be soul crushing. So I just I just can't wait for tomorrow. When they do the VO meeting, it'll be, early afternoon. We should know by about 2, 3 o'clock at the most. And we'll know if the leftovers is really about to take over this game because I am here for it. I like this alliance way more than Poe's pack. Just the fact that there was an alliance named after someone like Paloma who had to leave for mental health issues because, I mean, mental health issues are no joke. They're bad, but they're not an excuse to be as unnecessarily cruel as Paloma was. But yeah, to just seeing that alliance named in her honor, I just feel the vomit creeping up my throat. But the leftovers is people that have realized they're on the outside looking in, and we have potential to storm the castle. So we just need to send all of our positive vibes to Turner that he does the right thing because he can make himself a BB legend if he does this. So yeah, okay. It is 1:39 a.m. here. I am tired, and I would like to go to my go to bed in my room, which is closer to the air conditioner, or at least at a better angle to the air conditioner, so I get more of it. But yes, uh, we are on the precipice of greatness. We just need to go over the edge, and we're there. It's just like we're so close. We're so close. We cannot lose this opportunity. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you to Scarlet Rain 88 for being here, and thank you to my other viewer, and thank you to Aries Bree for following me. You can also follow me on YouTube. I upload my streams there. You can watch my past ones, and you can follow me on Twitter at NickGrindsYT. That's where I have the link to my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's gonna do it for me. I will see you. I will see you soon. Hopefully, with the best news ever. The BB24 became great. All right. Peace out.